Apex Igbo Social-Cultural Organization, Ohaneze Ndibo, has hailed the emergence of Delta State Governor Ifeanyi Okowa as a vice presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party. In yet another Arise exclusive tonight, Ifeanyi Okowa joins us on Newsnight, of course, to talk more about this. But we'll take a quick break.
Okay, we'll suspend that break for now, as the governor is ready to join us on the news tonight. Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for being on the news tonight. Let me begin by asking you, well, first, congratulations for emerging. Of all the major political parties, you seem to be the only sure, substantive vice presidential candidate. Others are in placeholders position. But I'd like to start this conversation by asking you, what happened? What changed from that conversation with the southern governors to allow the next president of Nigeria, emerge from the southern region? What went wrong?
First, I know that there was a conversation on that by people generally from the South, including the Southern governors, but we are in a political era. And we do know that the Governors Forum in the South, they belong to different political parties. But in our nation, for those of us that play politics, we belong to different political parties, and we are ruled by the decisions that take place within our own political party. Within the PDP, we felt that the time was rather too short for us to take a decision on zoning to a particular part of the country, and we thought that it was in the best interest of the party and the best interest of our nation to throw the presidential race open since the conversations came late in the day. And in the wisdom of the generality of the leadership of the party, the presidential race was actually thrown open after a debate at the National Executive Committee of the party. And we went into the conventions, and the former Vice President, Atiku Abubakar, emerged at the primaries, and he's the candidate of the party for today. So the party policy was such that we thought that it was best for us to have everybody compete and let the best emerge at the convention.
Now, let me just come here by asking, what really was your reaction to this decision at the end of the day? Of course, PDP members are commending your nominations. Talk us through your reaction when you heard this news and the assurances that you, of course, will be the winning ticket.
In the first instance, I wouldn't say it came to me as a surprise that I emerged as a vice presidential candidate of the party, but I did know that there were so many of us that were competent enough within the party to be selected to this particular position that I'm in. And I was quite happy that it did happen in the way it did happen, and I'm somebody who wants to contribute to the growth of this nation and to the development also of my party. And I believe that my coming into the ticket is going to add strength into the ticket, because it's for each and every one of us in our party, the PDP, to work collectively. And I believe that the ticket as it stands is such that it gives us a winning ticket. Yes, some other of my colleagues would also have been able to come into the ticket, and they would have been able to be in a pole position just like myself, but I happen to be the lucky one at the end of the day. But I believe that we are happy in the party. We cannot rule out the fact that some people may be aggrieved, but the real truth is that we are working together as a party, and we will try to unite ourselves to ensure that we win at the end of the day in February 2023, because then we know that the process of rebuilding this country is assured starting from May 29, 2023.
Your Excellency, you said the ticket, you add strength to the ticket. What exactly does that mean in practical terms? I mean, what would you say to other Nigerians who want to know more about the persuasive politics of a Governor Ifeanyi Okowa?
First, in politics, you have to look at the structure of the party and the ability of the team to be able to unite everyone within the party, the acceptability within the structure of the party across the nation, and the ability to work as a team in order to add strength to the ticket and to also add strength to the party. I find myself as one who is, I've been in the party since its inception. I've played various roles, and I'm confident of the fact that I'm somebody who is a team player, which is very important for us. And we've had various experiences in various elections before now. Though I'm a governor now, but I actually have grown through the political ranks, and having a very clear understanding of both the local government, the state, and also national politics, and also realizing the fact that I played very critical roles in the party at some point in time. I believe that a combination of all this will enable me assist the presidential candidates of the party and the rest of the party leadership to be able to put up the right strategies for us to be able to win the elections. Also being mindful of the fact that the party has its positions as it concerns this nation, and the candidate himself has already put forth a policy document concerning my covenant with Nigerians. And putting all this together, I believe that we are prepared for the race, and I have a very clear understanding of the issues that he's put forth. And in terms of governance, I have been privileged, very privileged to be to have started my politics at the grassroots, from secretary to the local government council through to being an elected local government council chairman. I've been at the beginning of the party in 1999. I was privileged to hold various positions in various ministries as commissioner. I've been secretary to the state government. I ran for the Senate in 2011 and won. I was in the 7th Senate from 2011 to 2015. Which did expose me to a lot of national politics and issues on national development. And eventually I returned to be governor. I've been in that office 7 years through now. And in relating with my colleagues across Nigeria and discussing the various issues about what is best for Nigeria, I think that there is quite a lot of advantage following these various exposures, understanding the grassroots and understanding national politics. And I think that that obviously is going to enable me to add strength to the ticket that we have at the moment.
But let's just go back to the party. You mentioned two key points there. Uniting the party. You also did mention, of course, there will be aggrieved members as a result of the decision taken by Atiku Abubakar. My question is, are you also reaching out to other governors who were nominated but did not make it at the end of the day?
Yes, I'm reaching out to all my colleagues, governors, because I know that we have to collectively work and be committed to this ticket with everybody on board, and not just the governors, because you realize that we also have 13 governors. There are many other party leaders who may have taken various positions during the convention, but it is now for us to think PDP. It's now for us to think about Nigeria and to think about the rescue and the rebuilding process. So it's not about our individual thoughts anymore. It's about the collective interest of this nation and the collective interest of our party, the PDP. And to that extent, we already started work. I'm reaching out to a lot of my colleagues on phone. I've been able to contact some of them directly. We've had some physical meetings, and we will continue. It's a process that is continuing, and I do realize that beyond that, I also have to reach out to several other party structures. We have former governors, former ministers, we have the board of trustees, we have very many opinion leaders, and beyond the PDP, we have to reach out to other opinion leaders and people that matter in this country. We have to reach out to the youths. We have to reach out to various ethnic groups. It's very important that we do all this. We also believe that as we're reaching out to the various religious groups, the Christians and the Muslims alike, we need to reassure everybody that it is well with our nation. It is possible to rebuild this nation if we collectively work together and remain committed to the Nigerian nation. And we're doing that. And to my colleagues, yes, 3 of us were nominated. That does not mean that it's just 3 of us that were possibly governors or other. There were some other people who had shown interest. Their names may not have come out. We're reaching out to everybody, and we'll continue to build ourselves into great strength. It's very encouraging. The responses I'm getting from my colleagues is very encouraging.
And that's good to hear. Away from party politics, Your Excellency, let's talk about the role of governance, because the position of the Vice President is said to be a heartbeat away from the President and the presidency. Nigerians say the task ahead for the next President and Vice President is tough, and I'm sure you will agree with them. How will you contribute to solving the myriads of challenges facing the country, especially corruption?
First, we do understand there are lots of problems in this nation. It's getting compounded by the day. Very luckily for us, our candidate, the presidential candidate, is somebody who has a wide range of experience, both in the private sector and in the governance process in this nation. We do realize that he was vice president 1999 to 2007. At the time, we had a whole lot of challenges, and they rose up to it, and he played critical roles in governance, and that experience is going to bring on board. I do believe that that definitely will count a lot. And he's been in this country in worked in various places before now. So he's already in a position of strength when it comes to how is he going to handle the issues. And with my more youthful assistance coming in and the experiences I've gotten relating with colleagues across the country, and even my experiences in the Senate, and handling local issues of security and interrelating with my friends across, I think that we're in a position of strength. But first is to identify the issues, and then we'll begin to look at how we're going to handle them. He has come out very clearly with an omnibus kind of 5-point agenda. One is that he has realized that this nation is going in such a trend that we are getting very divided. Nigeria has never been as divided as we feel it today. Yet we begin to see the reactions, but even in unspoken words, we find that there's a lot of division in our nation, Nigeria, today. So first is to try to start a rebuilding process, that confidence rebuilding, making us realize that we're one, building us back into a united family, a united nation. And that is very key. When we begin to trust ourselves, and then we have confidence that we all belong to this one nation, and that collectively we can cause the nation to work for all of us in the best interest of all Nigerians, then we would have set a process in place to be able to re-engineer Nigeria and to get us back on track. Because as of today, we are truly not on track in terms of development, because until that question, that national question is answered, are we truly one nation? we may not be able to go further than where we are at the moment. But I believe that our candidate has said it very clearly, and it's right there in his policy document before Nigerians, that our first major task is to rebuild confidence in our nation and to unite Nigeria. And then as we begin to do that, we know that the issue of insecurity is there in various facets. We see it's happening on a daily basis, and it's getting more complex by the day. We need to find ways of tackling it. And in tackling the various insecurity problems, you have to look at various aspects. The security agencies, how do we deal with the issues that concern the security agencies? Are they properly equipped? Do you need to provide more equipment? Yes. Do you need to provide greater intelligence? Yes. Do you need to provide greater training? Yes. You begin to look at these issues. And then what has led to the kind of state we found ourselves? The very high rate of unemployment, the high poverty rate in the country, the fact that people are beginning to lose hope in themselves, all these issues have to be handled. And until we handle it, when you're not able to look at the main causative factors, you're going to have problem in trying to handle insecurity. So we don't just look at security as if it's just about the military men or the police. Yes, we need to equip them. We need to provide for them in such a manner that they have greater confidence. Beyond the equipping them, we need to be sure that we're actually taking care of their welfare. As of today, there are questions as to that. That as we do all this, and then we're sending them out to the field to try to secure our nation, we must also begin to look at those causative factors and see how we can address them. We need to also get the buy-in of the people, buy-in of the traditional rulers, buy-in of community leaders, even buy-in of the youth within the places, the women. Everyone has a role to play in this. It's about the Nigerian question and being able to get us reformed to realize that collectively we can tackle the issues of insecurity is very important. But the question of
I think you made it very clear what's going to play out.
Policing from in this nation.
I think if you made your point clearly on what's going to play out when it comes to issue of insecurity, if your party wins come 2023. But let's move on now to other issues. Now there are some southern and middle belt leaders. Now there are some southern and middle belt leaders led by Chief Edwin Clark, of course, who are alleging that you betrayed calls for a southern presidency by agreeing to be a vice presidential candidate to a northerner. What is your reaction to that statement? Because, I mean, this is something we cannot run away from. It's still heading, discussions across Nigeria.
One, I want to respect our leaders. I believe that they have their opinions. I do also believe that they are well-meaning leaders, so I'm not going to join issues with them. But the important thing is that I belong to a political party, and I was part of the decisions of the political party, and we did agree that the best pathway for us to rescue this nation and to rebuild this nation was to throw the presidential race open in our party. And having agreed to that in our party, because I have submitted myself to be a politician and to belong to the People's Democratic Party. So I'm ruled by the policies of that party as it is. And since we have all committed to the fact that we wanted to throw the presidential candidacy open, and Atiku Abubakar, the former vice president, did emerge, the onus is for us to support him to win. We are not expecting that he was going to have a candidate, be the candidate from the north, and also have a vice president from the north. That will be leading to further division in this country. And we're talking about rebuilding this nation, rebuilding our unity, and to a very large extent, we had to take the right decisions. And within our party, I think that having submitted myself to be a member of the People's Democratic Party, I will have to submit myself to the decisions of the party, and that is what has happened. That does not mean that it's a disrespect for the views of those leaders. There are leaders that I respect so much, but under this condition, they have to understand that I have committed myself to the People's Democratic Party. I'm a politician. If I'm not a politician, it may be different. But I'm a politician, and I'm entitled to my views. I'm entitled to play along with the rest of the party because it's a collective decision. And I want to appeal to them that they need to actually look at the issues as it is and understand that, yes, while we are making our comments as it concerns this Nigeria, at this time that we have crisis within the nation, the rebuilding process means that we need to rebuild confidence. And in rebuilding confidence, we need to be very, very cautious about the stance that we take. We need to be very cautious about what we do. Every statement we make, even while it's important to make our decisions, it's important that we also realize that the unity of this nation is important, and we need to move forward from wherever we are at the moment.
And I like that point you make, Your Excellency, building the nation and moving forward. So that brings me to my next question. Although you are from the Igbo-speaking part of Delta State, these agitations you talk about, these cries from Southeasterners that the position of the next president should have been theirs, do you think that where you come from is enough to pacify them? Are you the bridge builder between the South-South and the Southeast? And how do you intend to bring them on board?
Yeah, in the first instance, we have had various groups of people agitating for the presidency. I do know that the Southeast actually said, yes, it is your turn to be president of this nation. I'm not aware that the Southeast directly has come out to agitate for the vice presidency. And actually looking at the structure in this nation, we've generally talked about the North and the South. But going deeper into the fact that we have geopolitical zones, we do realize that there are two particular geopolitical zones that feel shortchanged. The Northeast political zone, where the former Vice President, our candidate Atiku Abubakar, is from, and then the Southeast geopolitical zone, where that have actually told Nigerians that it appears that these two political zones have been shortchanged because none of them, no son from these two zones have been president of this nation. They obviously have a point, and I believe that we sympathize with them. And I believe also that since one of us has emerged from the Northeast at this point in time, that is a good sign for the future, that if the Northeast has the opportunity, and by God's grace, Atiku Abubakar becomes the president, which I think that is going to become by the special grace of God, then it's a good sign that the Southeast will have the opportunity, because at the next point in time, what we'll be talking about is that the Southeast itself is the only zone that is left, and they lay claim to it. For me, yes, I'm from Delta State, but I'm definitely an Igbo man. There's no doubt about that. I'm from Delta State in the South-South, but if you're looking at Igbos across the country, I'm an Igbo man. I can't be counted out, and that is a true situation. Okay. So the issue of the vice presidency has not been on the debate where it will go to. It's actually premised on the fact that when the presidential candidate emerges, he looks for what possible zone and what possible person can work with me, and what can be part of the team that can make us actually succeed in governing the people our rights. And I think that is what informed the decision. Okay. I'm just a lucky person that being from the South-South, I am also an Igbo man, and to that extent, I fit into all the divides, because my brothers in the Southeast, I'm part of them. I'm also part of the South-South. But that does not stop the agitation in the future now, as it stands for the Igbos for the presidency of this country.
Well, thank you very much.
You understand that there are only two main political parties at the moment, the PDP and the APC. Other parties are just still struggling through. while I respect whatever they are doing, we need to be sure that it fits into this one of these two parties. And I think that the step taken by the PDP and the PDP presidential candidate is a step in the right direction.
Well, we wish you the very best. We'll be watching that journey. Congratulations once more. Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa, Executive Governor of Delta State, South Nigeria, and the Vice Presidential Candidate of the People's Democratic Party for the 2023 presidential election. Thank you for being on the news.